Yeah. Fun got me working. All righty, there we go. What's happening, everybody? Oh yeah. Let me know. Okay. Go. Bam. Bam. I give me one fee. I gotta get my onto my Instagram on the old phone. Well, it looks like I got one viewer. Got me working day and night. All right, here we go. Oh, let me come over here. That's going. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. And then don't have that on the gram. Hey, all righty. What's happening, everybody? Yeah. Oh, I guess I gotta take the glasses off because the glasses at this angle they add too much glare. All right, there we go. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy. Hold on, I didn't even start recording, and I actually want to record this time. Bam, bam. Now, here's the thingy wingy. All right. Suck because I don't my glasses. I gotta get contacts. My agent told me. Oh, she mentioned that, and that's something that's been on my list of things to do. I gotta get contacts. She already. Oh yeah, it's your boy. All right. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Hannibal Challenge. We are back in the Laforatory. That is the lab for the laughs. Oh yeah. This we're here to do a riding session. All right, a riding session. AF. I hope y'all don't mind. All right, but I'm gonna be justifying my camera. All right, without moving some more of these joints. Look, getting some more on the ground. What the heck? Oh, okay. Sorry, I got a new mic, and you can kind of see it in the corner if you're on the ground. Oh, this is my easel. Corner with the stuff. I'll put him right over here for now. Now, here we go. Let's cut this light on. Do I look good? Do I look better? Do I look worse? I can't tell. I can't tell. Yeah. Well, here's what it do for today. Should I raise it? No, I don't want to raise it. Let me see. I do want to work on some. Anyway, let's grab this. Here is the whiteboard of knowledge. Oh, I got my mic over here so I can do it like this. Let me know if y'all can hear me too. You should be able to hear me pretty good. But here's the whiteboard, the daily agenda. This is the stuff we're going to talk about. Up top, that is something I yapped about at the end of my last stream. So I should have erased it. But um that next thing, those are two like premises that I had in my head. I kind of wanted to yap about and see if we can get somewhere with them. And then that last one is about the Michael movie. That's just another thing I want to talk about with this. These aren't in order, but it's just because like I was yapping about the Michael movie when I was playing uh, Crimson Desert last time. Raise it up some, a little bit low. If you guys are in here, say a little something. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that pops in. The stream might be short though. especially if I don't get lost. Just because it burns my ego. Feel like beautiful. That seems a little bit better. What do y'all think? Huh? Feels a little bit better. I got more head space. Look at that. Head not even cut off yet. Now my head's cut off on both. So I got more. I got more room to go forward. Yeah. Plus, y'all getting the full shirtellini. Yeah. Look at him jump. Let me know. Also, let me know down below if you guys would like to do a Laforatory stream. In I've always wanted to do one in my garage. Because that's where my heat press is, where I make the shirts, and I want to do one where I'm like actually making shirts while we're talking, especially because I think I may have figured out the secret to getting these to work better. I'd be struggling with them, but I was looking online. It looks like I might need to apply more pressure so that the actual thing will stick onto the shirt. I'm wondering too. Do I have? I wonder. I wonder. Because I'm trying to just think of all the clips. I'm trying to think of everything I can talk about that I'll be able to clip and post just to make content. But it's just a little awkward. Thank you guys for rolling with me because I need to do these more consistently, and because the more I do them, the less weird they are. Plus, it's late, so it's weird to do these when nobody's in. And I want to put my lady before she goes to bed, but the time zones are all goofy now. But yeah. So let's. I'm trying to think about what I said. Oh, so I know I did a clip last time. Burning up like you normally do. Burning up, burning up. So first off, let's talk about what's happening. Okay, I am tomorrow. I'm hopping on a flight to Myrtle Beach. I'm going to Myrtle Beach for the World Series of Comedy Satellite at Comedy Cabana. I'm really excited to go to this one. This was, I believe, the first satellite that I went to. First time I ever went to this one was in 2022. I think this was the first satellite I had done where I got out of the wild card. The wild card is where like you're not quite in the top 40 for each satellite. You're not quite in the top 40, but you get into the wild card. And if you, that's the first night of each satellite. And if you get in, if you first, second, or third, then you go from the wild card to round two, which is the top 40. The very first time I did this satellite was the very first satellite I had done where I actually got, I placed in the wild card round at a satellite. That was back in 2022. That might have been 22. Pretty sure, actually. Yeah, because 2021 was my very first year doing the festival. 2021, 2021 was my first year doing the festival. 22 was my first year going. That was my second year going to the festival, and then that year I got. Yeah, that year I won the wild card round at the main event and went from the wild card into the top 101. No, no, that was 23. Was that 23? I think that was 2023. But then the year that I performed with Kenny Mock, that was 23. That was my first time getting to the top 15, top 14 that year. So anyway, why is Myrtle Beach important to your boy? Well, Myrtle Beach is important to me. Also, man, I wish some people were in here because I kind of want to know how close do I need to be to my mic for y'all to actually hear me good. And I'm looking at my little thingamabob. Here we go. Okay, I increasified the gain because I like to move around, so I need my mic to be able to work even though I'm not right in front of it. Okay, I got to work on streamlining my yaps. So I actually really appreciate you guys and your patience. Let's log back in. Okay, let's log back in. Okay, I'm getting ready to go to Myrtle Beach for the World Series of Comedy satellite that's there. This satellite is really important to me because number one, it'd be nice to place in another satellite, especially because I got third in Atlanta, furthest I've ever done. However, I wasn't happy with my finals performance. Like I wish it went better, and that's part of what we're working on. Because even if I still get third, it's not even so much about getting first, second, or third for me. It's about being proud of what I do. And because I did Atlanta, I got third place, which I was really proud of myself for, really excited about. But, I wasn't proud of my performance. And I think I know why. And that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on, first off, my seven. We're going to yap about it because my performance on Wednesday is a 7 minute set, and I'm proud of my 7 minutes. But the thing is, I think I have to be out of my head. And my performance in Atlanta got me in my head on the best parts of that set, and I think that's what's screwing me up. But it's been long enough. I think I'm ready to shake it off and just get back to having fun. But Myrtle Beach is important because Comedy Cabana, the comedy club that's in Myrtle Beach, okay, it is right across the street from a hotel. In 2022, I stayed at that hotel. This year, I goofed up, didn't get a room at the hotel fast enough, so they were super expensive. I got an Airbnb that's not too far. It's like 6 minutes away from the club. Cool, but right across the street from that comedy club, there is a there is this little arcade. Right, they got go karts and it's an arcade. Right, I went there in 2022 to do the satellite. And because I was staying right next door, I went, let's go see what it's about. I went over there to go check it out. Inside there, they got a bunch of arcade machines, and they got one called Keymaster. Keymaster is the machine where it's got the key going like this, and then you got to press the button, clink, to make the key go in the hole. If it goes in the hole, it grabs the prize, yanks it out, you win. I go there in 2022. They have Keymaster, and inside Keymaster, they have a Nintendo Switch. All right. I'm looking at it. I play it a couple times, and I go, there has to be a secret. There has to be a way to beat this game. So I spend the whole rest of that night and the next day. I'm on YouTube. Watching videos. Didn't even advance after my second round. After I got out of the wild card, and I remember why the mic was messing up. It was messing up bad during my set, so my jokes weren't connecting. And then it got to me, and I was pissed. But they were like, "Well, yeah, you're not supposed to hold a mic like the Joe Lauer's World Series of Comedy. Anybody who's been, that was a pretty good impression. Yeah. I remember we were talking to Joe somewhere. He said, "Why everybody when they do my impression they do the hands?" And I don't know why they do the hands. Freaking love Joe. So, long story short, I'm going to that arcade. I see the Nintendo Switch. I go back to my hotel room. I'm watching videos. Watching videos on how to beat Keymaster. Turns out there is a secret to beating Keymaster, and the secret pretty much boils down to, I won't give it to y'all right here because I think I'm gonna try to do another video talking about it when I go, when I get there, because I'm gonna try it again. But apparently, there's a way to know if you can win or not. The machine sort of had like only lets somebody win after it's been played a certain number of times. Before that, it has a fail safe where it doesn't let you get it. And so there's a way to tell if the game is in win mode. So I did that. I go, I figured it out. I go to play the game. I realize it is in win mode. Long story short, I won a Nintendo Switch. A Switch that I believe is sitting right there in my closet. I would have grabbed it last stream, but it's like under a bunch of garbage. So I was like, it ain't worth it. Okay. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. That's my lady. Hold on. day and night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go. Do, do, do. All right, hold on. We're going to see something. I'm gonna see it. Hey, Dream, you're here. Thank goodness. It sure did take me long enough. I don't know if you're here or when you got here. Please don't leave if you did. I realize that my Instagram is behind, and I don't know by how much. There we go. I don't know if just in case that gets to you before. Oh, perfect. Okay. I just had to hear it to make sure that the sound was working. That's cool though. I muted my mic and it muted it on both. So this is good. Got me perfect. Well, Dream, now that you're here, um, great. Anyway, oh, I see you said something. Hold on. I don't see you. I know. It's because I was down there for a sec. I was sitting down because I called my lady real quick before she goes to bed, and then now I'm back up here. Okay, let's see. So now that you're here, I'll speed run what I was saying before. So I'm going to Myrtle Beach. I'm excited. I'm flying out there tomorrow, and they have an arcade that's right across the street from the comedy club. Back in 2022, the very first time I did that satellite, very first time I ever went to Myrtle Beach, I went to that arcade and won a Nintendo Switch. Hey, 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 hey. And the reason is because they have an arcade game that I figured out how to play, but I have not seen that arcade game anywhere since. Like now, I barely see it. It's this one in particular called Keymaster, and I figured out how to beat it. I figured out how to play it. And that's not even like a thing about knowing how to beat it. Really, the trick is Keymaster has like a setting in it to where it'll only let you win after it's been played a certain number of times. So you just got to be able to tell if it's in win mode. Then it becomes a game of skill. So I don't even remember how much money I blew, but I spent so much money playing it first time I went there and got a whole Nintendo Switch. Now I haven't seen Keymasters around, and I think it's probably because the streets got hip. Then they started to go, okay, all right, everybody playing Keymaster, people winning stuff. So I was like, oh boy. So I'm excited to go back, and I wanted to go to Myrtle Beach. I don't remember when the last time was. I think there was another comedy. I think there was another satellite there, a couple years ago, but I couldn't go for whatever reason. This year, I'm excited that I was actually able to make it. Might have been last year. It might have been last year, but I remember my money got bad out of nowhere, so I had to cancel a bunch of satellites I was going to go to. Anyway, I got some people in the chat. Good shit. You're good. There we go. Nice. Win me one. I try to. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to. I'm trying to get us all out the hood. Okay, I'm trying to get us all out the hood. So, um, I'm excited for that. On Wednesday, I'm gonna be doing a 7-minute set with the World Series of Comedy. Now, I got in my head because back in Atlanta, Joe Lowers, owner of the World Series of Comedy, good buddy of mine, he told me that my white slavery joke is preachy, and I didn't really see it that way, but that got me in my head. So to make a very long story short, I think enough time has passed since Atlanta where I'm not as in my head about it the way that I was before. So I'm excited to get back out there and just sort of do it. I'm gonna try my best to not overthink it and just do that joke. That joke is good. That joke has won me, rounds before. However, he did make a point that I appreciate because he said that some a joke like that can make somebody not want to book you because it feels whatever. It can feel whatever, probably uncomfortable, and it can be uncomfortable for white folks. But it's a joke where it's only uncomfortable if you're not listening to it, and if you kind of just get hung up on the fact that it's about race. But you got to be careful, and I remember learning that a long time ago. It's like if you do too many Like if you do too many black black people be like, white people be like jokes in a short set, you can turn people off, which to me is frustrating. Especially because I don't really do nothing that's that crazy, that rude. Okay, not just going to sound like a strange, but maybe the question, what the hell is a satellite? I've heard it used in poker tournaments before, but I never quite understood it. You got it. So, I'm glad you asked. So, a satellite, at least in the World Series of Comedy um, context, is the World Series of Comedy is a big comedy festival that they do in September, and they have a major competition of the top 101 comedians. They also throughout the year they do 12 satellites, which are like mini competitions in 12 different cities. Each those are all leading up to the Big John, which is in September, which is the main event. Um, and the top 101 comedians out of everyone that registered for the festival. So satellites are just like mini competitions, and I think they say satellites because it's kind of like they orbit around the big one and the big main thing. They're not listening anyway. Yeah, you're right. And that's something I hate. I always hate. I've always now. To me, this is a tough one, right? Sort of the concept of freedom of speech, because I have always been somebody who like I believe in freedom of speech. Uh, Even when it comes to controversial topics in comedy. Because I think that comedians we have like a there's like an unspoken rule or like a deal that we make with our audience, and I'd say specifically almost like in a certain sense with society, right? Because there are a lot of professionals who do not and should not be able to say the things that we say as comedians, right? Like, let's be honest, bar for bar, band for band, your doctor should not be making uh sort of like controversial racy jokes. That's because his life, people's lives are on the line, right? And so his job demands a level of professionalism that I believe should be upheld and respected, right? I think as comedians, we have a like an unspoken relationship. There's an unspoken rule where we can say whatever. However, that comes with the heavenly restriction that it has to be funny. You can't just go up on stage and say wild garbage. It has to be funny. And that is where it gets kind of the art and the craftsmanship comes in, because I've seen people do incredible jokes about topics people say you can't make jokes. And to me, the challenge of the craftsman is to be able to do that. Take this topic that is controversial that people are not supposed to talk about and then make a joke about it. But to me, the interesting part is like there's a lot of intricacies in pulling that off that make it challenging. And this is why I think um this is what I think people misunderstand about stuff like punching down. Because this is one thing I've been thinking about this recently with the idea of punching down. I think one of the many math equations that goes into why punching down sometimes doesn't work. I think like you can't make jokes about something that is an ongoing problem, especially when you are part of that problem. Example: my little brother, sometimes I have to he won't tell us a story straight. He won't just tell us, oh, what happened in school today. Oh, school was good. Well, what did you do in class? We did stuff. Oh my god. Right? And especially when he does something he know he gonna get in trouble for. We gotta dig. Right? We gotta dig. Ask 1,000 questions because he's not gonna tell us more. Right? He'll tell us the bare minimum. It will be like, okay, so what happened? Oh, this kid hit me. All right. What aren't you telling us? We got to ask 100 questions before we find out he banged that kid first. And I'm like, oh, but what so then that's the thing we've talked about. It's like, dude, you can't keep making us dig, right? You can't keep making us dig. If we ask you a question, give us all the details. Then he started wanting to go, oh, I've got you guys digging. And it made me furious. And I asked myself, why did that? I get he's trying to joke. Why did it make me mad? And I realized, oh, it's because that issue of digging is an ongoing problem still. He hasn't stopped doing that. So when he makes a joke about something that's still happening, it's like a slap in the face about the problem that is still going on. And there's also the aspect where it's even worse if you are the person that does if you are the person that does the problem. So example, I think like when white dudes get mad that they can't make jokes about trans people, it's like, well, yeah, because number one, the mistreatment, misrepresentation, and the abuse of LGBTQ people is a currently going on thing. It's still a problem, and it's still a major problem. Those people are in actual danger right now. So when you're making a joke about that, and we're going to get into the intricacy of that too, when you're making a joke about that and their experience, that's not funny because that's still a problem. Those people got to walk out of here, and that's actually what's going on. And then number two, when you're a when you're a let's keep it real. When you're a cisgendered male living in our current society, oftentimes you're part of that problem. And for especially a lot of them white dudes that want to say all that controversial stuff, y'all know who you voted for. Y'all know who your favorite podcast voted for. So those people in that example are not just they're not just making a joke about an ongoing problem. They're making a joke about a problem that they participate in being a problem. That to me is one of the layers where those like the punching down is a problem. One of the math equations is that it's like, well, yeah, not only is this problem you're making a joke about real and these people are in actual danger, you're a part of it. So it's not funny when you crack a joke about that because you're the monster. You're the person that is doing the thing. And it's almost like in theory, and to me I say connection with like the back to that example with Lil Man is you could stop the problem. You could stop making us dig every time we got to ask you a question. So when you make a joke about a problem that you are, it hurts the people that are the victims of it. Now, remember earlier when I said making a joke about that? Here is where to me, the art of the craftsmanship. You can make a joke about that topic, but your point has to be. I've always thought this, and I've heard other people say something similar. If you're going to make a joke about something controversial, it has to be twice as funny as it is offensive. And to me, that's one of those core formulas. If you're going to make a joke about something, it's got to be twice as funny as it is offensive. And then when you get into there, I think it's interesting to do a joke about something where the outcome is, oh, I never thought about it that way. When you give somebody a new perspective shift on something controversial. And you can make a joke about the people who are uh, the problem or participating in that problem. There was a dude back in Florida that had, hey, what's happening, guys? I see we got people in here. Now we're talking. Let's hit the chat because I got a lot. Yeah, a lot can be overlooked if they're funny. I've laughed a lot of things I know probably shouldn't have been laughing at, but they were well executed. So even knowing I shouldn't laugh, I have a choice. Yeah, agreed. So you make a good point there too. Jerry Corley, who's one of my comedy goats, I freaking love that guy. He actually I recommend anybody who likes comedy or comedy writing, look him up on YouTube. I even follow him on Instagram. But he's written books about comedy, and I think he's got in one of his books he's talked about the 7 laughter triggers, stuff like that. But one thing that they say a lot about comedy is that it's laughter is an involuntary reaction. which I think is partly why some of the best jokes got you laughing at stuff you feel like you shouldn't be laughing at. And also, one thing I like about comedy is that it allows people to talk about topics that they otherwise wouldn't touch. And I think that's important because one of the most dangerous things throughout human history is turning a blind eye to real problems. We're living in a world that is suffering from that AF right now as we speak. There's a bunch of circumstances where if people would, as the ancient Greeks would have said, or no, the ancient Egyptians, keep it real, my nigga. Like if people would just do that, the world would be able to get a lot better. But we got a lot of people that are choosing. I think people are choosing to be stupid about stuff, and that's incredibly dangerous. Got a little sidetracked, but let's get back to the idea of I there was a dude, and I don't want to do his joke. And what I might do, I don't even know if he still does comedy. He was a dude. He was one of the best, in my opinion. He was one of the best comics in Orlando when I was coming up. His name was Simon Nash. Real cool dude, mixed dude, but he had a joke that to me was a perfect example of making a joke about a topic that is incredibly taboo. But what made his joke work at its absolute first, it was fun. Um, and I think it did do the thing where you go, "Oh, I never thought about it that way," adds a perspective or whatever. Um, but what he did that I thought was really interesting, his joke was not about the victim. His joke was about the I think at the very simplest, I think I'd say his joke was about the people who like dismiss the victim. That's cool because you're not undermining the experience of the people who are actually going through the problem, right? And a lot of people who are like, "Oh, you can't say anything in comedy." They want to make jokes about people who have real problems, and then they're gonna go home and then support the people that put those people under those problems. Which is like to me, I think this is stupid. I think this is a silly idea. But I think in a perfect world, none of the offensive jokes matter if people are okay. If your rights are protected, if your health is protected, if your way of life is respected, it doesn't really matter if you make a joke because they're not what determines your safety, right? In a world where everybody's good, you can make jokes about everything. The issue is that there are people with actual problems, and those problems are also being ignored. Largely, one of the biggest ways that problems are ignored is through entertainment. That's why people got so mad at Colin Kaepernick for kneeling during the Super Bowl because they wanted to be distracted from the issues of racism, and he brought it to where they were. Which to me, I could only respect the idea of guys, come on, not here at my football game if we were dealing with it outside of there. The reason why he has to do that, and I know that's old, right? That's an old example, but I think it was great. The reason that people have to do that, the reason that Kendrick's got to do, it has to make his Super Bowl performance mad, enlightened, and woke, is because y'all aren't doing this. People are avoiding the important issues. So you have to go where the people are actually going. And then people go, "Oh, just shut up and dribble the ball." It's like, yeah, we people could dribble the ball if you were paying attention. And this is unrelated. It's kind of unrelated. But I think we should look at anybody cutting funding or resources for education. I think we should look at them mad suspicious. I think we should be like, "What are you doing? And why would you cut funding to schools? Why would you cut funding to education?" Because, and this I thought about too, the only reason that our world hasn't fallen apart yet is because we're still riding off of the level of education that like my generation got, and like I'd say maybe one generation below me, and then the generations before us. Like I know there's a video out where these people, it's like this kid, he was going around recording, showing that like the other kids at his school they can't read, and which to me, what I find crazy, I find mad suspicious, is that the school is trying to get that kid expelled. They're trying to get him cut out of being able to graduate. But I'm like, my brothers in Christ, that problem is real though. Why are we trying to get rid of the problem? No, why are we trying to get rid of the person pointing out the problem rather than solve the problem? I find that suspicious, especially because education is the only vaccine against, like, my brain wants to say manipulation, but I don't think that's the best word. I think propaganda might be a better word. But the only real defense that you have against some of that stuff is education. Like, and I think about it a lot. The only reason our world is functioning at all right now is because of how educated people were before us. And what I think's happening is, in a bunch of weird ways, our education's under attack because it's going to mean, and this is why I think we today got to pay attention a lot. The target, especially like example with AI, the target with AI isn't us because we are too connected to real TV, real media, and actual talent, right? And the skills that it takes to create stuff. We're not the target. The target is the kids. It is the children who are going to grow up in a world where AI was there the whole time. So they're not going to have the inherent disconnect with the AI stuff that makes them go, this makes me feel weird. This isn't right. They're not going to have that, which means they're going to put up with all of it at full, at 100%. They're going to just, all right, yeah, this is how stuff is. And that also means it's stripping people of the education that they need to even be able to participate in the world outside of just being, like, for lack of a better word, like consumers. And what I think the plan is, I think the plan is that in 30 years, in 40 years, in 50 years, the population is going to be dumb enough that whatever you do is going to just work. We're still at a point where if you push us too far, we're gonna crash out, even though that bar has moved way too far. We should have been crashed out a long time ago. Um, but what's gonna happen, I think, in 50 and 30 and 25 years, people are gonna be so disconnected from legitimate education that we're not gonna crash out at all, and then it's gonna end up being too late. You know, let's hit these chats. Let's see what people are saying. But I'm in the aspect of kneeling thing in the grand scheme of things. How did that actually diminish your quote football game? You didn't. You really didn't. So I don't know why everyone was that pissed off. Everyone was pissed. So people were pissed off about kneeling during the football game because they want to avoid those problems. They don't want to deal with the actual issues. And they want this stuff to be an escape from it. I argue that the reason you're looking for an escape from this stuff is because you're not doing it. Like, I think it's a funny example, might be a little silly. Your mama doesn't have to make you eat your vegetables if you eat your vegetables. People only gotta make you eat your vegetables because you're not eating them. If we were eating them, we don't have to put it in the carrot cake. Ain't nobody gonna put carrots in cake. Right? You're getting your vegetables elsewhere. But we gotta make you eat vegetables if you're refusing to eat them. Education everywhere. I went through a drive-through and they were closed simply because the internet was down. So the cash machine, they couldn't do the math and make change. I'm gonna say, yeah, that's trash. That's tough. However, I don't want to be doing change. I don't want to be doing change. That's part of the problem, man. Is that, like, bar for bar, band for band. I want my easy. All right. I want my stuff to be. Excuse me. I want my stuff to be easy. I don't have to do all that. That did happen one time though when I was working at Taco Bell. Oh, I just realized I should wash my hair tonight. But I remember one night I was working at Taco Bell, and our internet went out, and so we had to take people's orders on note on like on sticky notes, and it felt like being in a diner in the 40s. I was like, oh my god, I'm over here on the. Okay, yeah. So you want a what? Okay, you want a two chalupa combo. You want a number six. Okay, huh? You want a Baja Blast. All right, you freak. Like it felt, and we were closed. So I think it was our lobby had already been closed. It felt so much like being at a restaurant in the 40s. The one thing we was missing was the colored only water fountain. It was so we're running back and forth, people making food and this and that. Oh man, that's something. Um, that was okay. My bad. We yapped a little bit. I've heard how bad your schools are here, but I didn't expect it to be that level. I gave her exact change, and she looked at it and asked how much was there. Oh, take a step back. No. When I was working at Taco, oh no, when I was working at Publix, I had a bunch of kids because we have my Publix was right next to a middle school. Hell on earth. Oh my god, that was awful. That you want to talk about wanting to wig yourself. Them kids. Oh my god, every day they'd come in and then they let them little things be stealing. They would be stealing stuff, and they were menaces. They running around all goofy. I had that happen. I think at least once. Well, I know it happened once. The kid came up and he was like, "Oh, okay." He wanted to buy some stuff, and he like just put the change down and was like, "I don't know what these are." I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean you don't know what a quarter is?" I was like, "Lord, have mercy. We're cooked. We're cooked. These people can be politicians." And you know the crazy thing is too, when you think about it, it's not even just that these people will be politicians. It's that these people are going to have to go out and then be members of society. And I'm not even meaning that to dog them. It's like really sad. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're gonna need you guys. And y'all don't even know what the coins are. Like, now, I'm gonna segue real quick. The kicker was she looked my age. No. Well, girl, hey, we can't tell how old you are. Hey. That's right, clock it. Okay. Anyway, um, okay. Now I want y'all to roll with me here because I didn't put it on. I didn't put it on. What's up? Who is it? Okay, what's up? Okay, hold on, guys. Be right back. Don't go nowhere. Okay, nice. Now, let's check how many people we got. Okay, just two people on the gram, and looks like I've got one person on YouTube and Kick and Twitch, but I'm pretty sure those. I think those are just me. It's probably my chat thing that's probably doing that. I can tell I haven't been streaming enough because I haven't even been getting the "Hey, buddy, you gotta get the fake, yeah, the fake, the fake messages. Leave my age alone. Homeschool for the win." That was a compliment. I intended for it to be a compliment. That's what I was saying. Yeah, girl, we don't know. Hey, you could be, like we don't, we can't tell how young you are. That was supposed to be complicated. My bad. My bad. That's what all the clock it was for. Okay. Um. So. Okay. Let me see something. We're gonna segue. We are gonna talk about jokes, and I'm thinking we might run the 7. Here's what we're gonna do. Because I also want to talk about AI because I want to clip this. Um. Okay. Stick with me here. I'm about to do another yap, but the purpose of this one. Okay, we're at 45 minutes. Okay, cool. I'm about to do another yap, but just a preface. The point of this one is for me to clip it because I want to clip this and I want to post talking about this. So just bear with me. Okay. It's we're gonna find a way to dive in. I probably need to just dive in. Everybody who's saying that AI is not gonna take people's jobs, I think is deliberately lying to us. They're lying to everybody because okay, if you guys have been on YouTube at all, YouTube, I used to see this ad. All right, the other day, I'm watching YouTube videos. I see this YouTube ad, which is, it's so lame, right? It's this incredibly cheesy story. They're trying to sell this story of this kid going to school with other people have superpowers and he's getting bullied by this girl, but then he's looking for this magical book that he got that's supposed to give him powers. And I'm watching this ad and I'm going, okay, this is clearly AI because it looked trash when the girl shot her blue water power. I was like, okay, this is clearly AI. But then I was like, wait a minute, haven't I seen this before? And then it hit me. That ad, they already did that. They already did the ad about that story, filmed with actual people. I remember like a year ago, max. And this is why I was pissed because I was in the shower. I'm in the shower washing my hair, listening to YouTube. Then the YouTube ad starts, and it is the exact same story. It's this kid going to school. Everyone has powers, but he doesn't have powers, and it's the exact same premise. But they shot it all with actual people. Is it garbage? Yes. It's like a My Hero Academia ripoff, and it's like, ugh, just in the way they're executing it. And I hate to sound like a hater to whoever might have written that story, but bar for bar, band for band, it's cheesy and sounds like crash grab garbage, right? Um, but I'm sitting here listening to the ad on YouTube, and I screen recorded it because I was like, I have to. Again, I want to clip this. I want to post it later and like throw that in there. That ad, they literally already did. They already told that story, selling, I think, an audiobook or whatever, that they shot with real people. This was the same story, but now told with AI actors. That means they took the jobs from the people who already did the job. Are you kidding me? Y'all already filmed it. And rather than just using the same stuff, you just bar for bar, band for band, replace the people doing something you already had them do. The thing about it, this is something I want y'all to take away because I think about this. Because a lot of times people say, oh, AI is going to be great for people. It's going to improve the world and make a better place. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Only under the circumstances that it is different people that were in charge of it. Because the people who are in charge of the development of AI are not people who care about the people it will replace. So there is an alternate reality, right? Like if Kendrick Lamar made AI, then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's not going to replace people because it's made by a person who not only is a legitimate craftsman but like respects the art and respects what it takes to make that art. So they would develop it in a way that didn't replace people. The problem is that the people, the companies, and the industries that are making it don't care about people. So the only reason that AI is going to take people's jobs is because of the people that are in charge of it and because that's what they're going to make it for. I'll be real with y'all. The reason that AI is the biggest shift that all the companies are going to pretty much is just because it's digital slavery. That's what it is. And to me, that's the core problem with capitalist systems is that like slavery is the best thing they ever had, and they're spending the rest of their lives trying to chase it. I always said capitalism treats slavery like a bad ex that everybody else told them to break up with. Like they liked slavery. but everybody else said it was bad, it was wrong, and you can't keep doing this. So they had to act like, oh, oh, I'm done with slavery. We don't do that anymore. We don't talk. But every other boyfriend they've gotten has had the same height, the same build, the same fashion, and is pretty much the same thing. What did we have? We had outsourcing jobs to other countries. Yeah, that's because they didn't have to pay those people a livable wage. So it was the closest thing they could get to slavery. It's like, well, we can't do slavery. Well, okay, well, let's go do diet slavery, right? Then with that, it's immigrant labor, right? Illegal immigrant labor. Yeah, that's because you don't have to pay. That's because it's closer to slavery. You don't want to pay these people. That's why you try to find where can we get this stuff made with the as close to slavery as we can get. Now AI is so big because you don't have to pay it and you can make it work without having to pay it. So the reason why AI is so big and why companies are literally willing to throw the fate of the world away to chase it is because it's robot slavery. And they want to be able to do that. They want to get as close to slavery as they can. This is the closest they've ever been able to get. That's why our gas prices are going up. That's why all of the American economy right now is caught up in this AI bubble that if it bursts, everybody's going to be screwed. Even a lot of the people that are like big in the AI stuff. And to me, the crazy thing is that greed destroys itself, which to me is one of the things about it's one of the things that makes greed so dangerous is that the only direction greed goes in is that it ends up destroying itself because it becomes so obsessed with money that it loses sight of how you got the money in the first place, and then because of that you end up not getting the money. Netflix is losing so much of their money because they forgot what how they got it in the first place. Y'all didn't get you guys didn't get here because of like all the games and stuff with the shareholders. You guys got to this point because you provided a service well, affordably, that was better than that was better than the other stuff out there. Which to me, it's like, yeah, the reason you got shareholders at all, the reason that you got big enough to do that, is because you provided a good service. But they're so obsessed with money that they're forgetting why they got here in the first place. Let's check these chats. What do we got? Because then they don't have to pay double. Honestly, you could have stopped at person or decent human being. Anything but better than what we got now. Well, yeah, because they want it back. Not trying to turn this political, but why do you think there's so many people in yeah, people of color in jail with overextended sentences for minor infractions? You're absolutely right. And I don't remember if I said this the last time I was streaming. Well, not the last time, but the last time I was yapping while playing Crimson Desert. But and a part of me has actually thought about reaching out to like uh, a few like mental health specialists, especially ones that I follow, and people that might know how to go down this path a little bit more. But I'm a little bit. I believe that evil is a mental illness, and that's why we can't beat it. It's because we're treating it. Well, it's because we're dealing with it as if it is something different. I don't think it's simply like a moral failing or that it's like, oh, well, these people just make bad choices. I think that especially when you get to the higher levels of evil, I think it might be a mental illness. And what do you do with a mental illness? You learn about it, you study it, and you treat it. You don't just let it run wild because people get hurt. You don't take that mental illness and then treat it as if it's the standard that we should all follow. You treat it so that the person suffering from it can live a fuller life. So I think maybe if we can start to redesign the way that we look at evil and we start to go, oh, this person is mentally disabled. Let's help them. But that doesn't mean, and I don't even, when I say that, I'm not saying that we play it nice. Oh, come on, guys, we gotta be nice to, we gotta be nice to the people that are evil. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, oh, this needs to be treated. This person has a problem, this person is broken, and what if in a certain way we can treat that? You know, now granted, there's a lot of people who want to do that, and if I can, let me. There's a messed up example, but I think it's really relevant. I've been talking to a few people about this. An example that I think of is like anorexia, right? Because there was a period of time where that was the beauty standard, and to this day, there's a lot of people hurt from those beauty standards that developed. So, and I imagine, I remember hearing, learning about this in school and stuff, but like during the era where that was seen as the standard, people didn't see it as a mental illness, so it ran rampant. People thought, "Oh well, she got it figured out. Wow, I want to be like her," because we didn't see it as a mental problem. Now we understand, "Oh, that's not healthy. We need to get you help." To me, I think we're living in a world where in this current era, greed is like that, and evil altogether encompassed is like that. We're living in a world where right now we see a lot of the evil stuff people do as the standard. So we're not treating it as what it is, a mental problem. And we shouldn't be heralding these incredibly rich billionaire wealthy people. We shouldn't be like, wow, you're so great, I want to be like you. Nope, that person has a mental illness. And right now we're living in a world where we don't see it that way. That doesn't mean it isn't. In theory, down the line we'll look back and go, ooh. In fact, and you know what I think would be even cooler is imagining the fact that in the future we will look back and we will have treatment for it. Like, imagine being able to go, oh yeah, no, we got treatment for that now. And the only reason that people like that achieve high levels of success is because we're living in a world that doesn't see the way they operate as a symptom of mental health issues. So this, we're very likely we could reach a world where we no longer see greed like that. And so when you see some guys, when you see a kid is being suspiciously greedy, you go, oh, you need to go get little man tested. And then we go get little man tested. We go, cool. Here we go. Here's the things that we do. Here's how we treat that. So he gets to live a full life where his greed's not going to destroy his own life or the lives of other people. Anyway, let me stop. Yeah, I've been putting a lot of thought into that from the first time you said it. It didn't seem very plausible at first, but now that I've been thinking about it, I don't think you're far off. Yeah. Oh, by the way, deep cut, and this is literally going to be just for us, even though I think you're the only person that's in the stream right now, Dream. Uh, I bet you're thinking about it already too. That reminds me of Eddie Figure's poem. That reminds me of Eddie Figure's poem. We'll stop talking about slavery. When will you people get over slavery? When you quit trying to bring it back. Oh man, I miss y'all bad as heck. Alrighty now. Okay, that was long. That was like 10 minute rant there. Okay. I want to re-yap about the Michael movie because my footage is weird. I'm trying to edit it so I can post it, but it's a little on the strange side. So I was like, oh, I could re-talk about it. But I've talked about everything but comedy. So we're gonna go into it. We're gonna go into some comedy because I want to run this 7 minute set at least once. And we won't do it today. We'll do it when I get to Myrtle Beach. I am gonna run my 20 minutes because it kind of fell off when I was in Atlanta, and I think it's because number one, I need more work with my therapy stuff. It's really good, but if I don't approach it properly, I think it can get a little sad, and I've got to clean it up so that I can get to the funny parts faster. And one of my punchlines for that is pretty dirty, and I don't normally do dirty, so I think that's part of what happened in Atlanta. Is I felt weird, but by that point, I had already lost the people. Um, but I think I'm having more confidence in myself now. I didn't pick up on it. Yeah. Oh, you did pick up on it? That's crazy. Run. Hey, there we go. I see. Yes. Awesome. We got Zai over on YouTube. I just saw you over there. I really hope you didn't show up and leave. What does your next week look like? So this week I'm flying to Myrtle Beach. I'm flying there tomorrow because I'm performing for the World Series of Comedy on Wednesday. I'm gonna be there for like 3 days. Then I'm going from there to visit my lady for a few days. Um, then I'm coming home. I'm gonna be home for like about a week. Right now, my plan is to come back on the 19th um, to Phoenix. Then I'm gonna be there for about a week. On the 27th, I'm competing. Uh, hey, that's right. Welcome, Prince. I saw you too. I forgot to say your name, but I saw you. That's what that A was about earlier. And Zai, I see you in there. I hope you didn't already leave. I peep. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being in here. Um, on the 27th, which is not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, I'm competing in the Funniest Comedian in the Valley competition again this year. And so the preliminaries are on the 27th. Then I'm going to Akron, Ohio for the Akron Comedy Festival. I think it's called the Comedy Jam. First year they're doing that festival, and I got on. Yeah, I'm real proud of that and real happy about that. Um, and then May. Oh my God, is next month June already? Yikes! I got a big, I got a big road trip I'm going on with one of my friends. Um, that's in June. That's going to be in June, and I don't know. I'm working on something with my job. Um, trying to see if I can maybe get a promotion, but if I can get that promotion, it's going to be big. So, but I'm not even going to tell y'all, but it would change a lot. It would change a bunch of things for your boy if I can hit that job. Um, and especially like I'm yapping it up with my bosses and stuff to see if I can make that happen. Hey, what's Hey, staying busy, keep it up. Thank you. I am staying busy. So that's my next couple of weeks. I don't know when I'm coming to Orlando next. I really want to come back too. I might try, depending on how things happen. I might try to get back out there in June, just to hang out. Um, busy but good. Oh yeah, y'all yapping in there, which is great. So here we go. I don't think I'm gonna do this bit, but we'll talk about it later. Because what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna run this 7, and then and my the point of this run is to just have fun and play into the fun of it, because the heavy part, which is my white slavery jokes, can come off weird if it's not executed a certain properly. And what we got to work on is that I got to figure out how do I get into that consistently that won't that'll be fun and stay fun and not make folk uncomfortable. Oh, we got a message. I only ask because I want to make sure I can be here for your streams. But this week is the week I move back to Rochester. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know what my streams are gonna be like. Did you say this week? This week is the week you go back to Rochester. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. I'm definitely gonna be doing some writing streams. I'm gonna do one on tomorrow, but I'm gonna be flying to Myrtle Beach, so I don't even know what the time zones are gonna be like. So I don't even know what time it'll be. 7. You deserve it. 7777 LOL. Okay. Uh, all right. We're gonna pray for her after the stream. Um. So yeah, I've got to. Also, I want to run to Walmart before they close tonight. I still need to pack for my flight tomorrow. Part of me wants to be bad and do some gaming streaming as well, but I couldn't do that until after I get back. and it's already 9 o'clock here. So by the time I ran to Walmart and got back, you leave Sunday? Okay, okay, Sunday. Cool. Because I'm gonna be all right. Neat. Sunday. Sunday I'll be out of Myrtle Beach, but I'll be with my lady. All right, cool. I'm gonna be doing at least one comedy writing stream on tomorrow. Probably gonna do another one on the 13th because that's the day I perform. So I want to do one before I, at some point during the day before I go in. Oh darn it! I just remembered. I'm not staying at the hotel that's across the street. That hotel has free breakfast. Now, low key, I want to wonder. I kind of wonder if I can run game and pull up to the, pull up to the hotel and just eat their breakfast. So that's something I've always wanted to do. Cause I'm like, there's no way they're paying attention to everybody who works at the hotel. You know, but I'm not a bad person, so I just feel like it's not worth it. Even in my head, I'm like, man, let me try to go eat breakfast at that place. Then they gonna walk up on me. They gonna ask me for my room key. I'm not gonna have it. Then I'm gonna be cooked. I just remembered. Ah, Jesus. Hold on, guys. I gotta put some clothes. Hold on, guys. I ain't forget about you. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. Hey. All right, guys. I'm back. Sorry, I just remembered because I got clothes I want to wear to Myrtle Beach, and some of these shirts need to be hung up. Well, actually, it's only one pair of pants. For real. That like I really want to wear there. But I realized I should probably take this shirt too because I like this one. And I don't even know what the weather's looking like in Myrtle Beach. It could be hot. It could be cold. Where was I last time? I traveled somewhere that was supposed to be cold, and then it wasn't, and I was pissed. Atlanta. Atlanta. You're all good. I'm kind of using you as my body double right now. I'm packing and cleaning my room. I'm listening through the headset. Fantastic. Awesome. Is Prince still here? No, I think he left. Okay. And Zai, I don't know if you're still here. Does not look like it. Does not quite look like it, me boy. Or they, but anyway. All right, here we go. See, hold on. I had to check what time this Walmart closes, and I'm getting a phone call from the big homie Gus. I don't want to hang up on bro, but what the heck? Where all my stuff at? Okay, I'm gonna close this. Okay, because I'm gonna look. Hold on. I'm still here with y'all. We're gonna see what time this Walmart closes. I believe it closes at 11. If it does, then we can run this set. If not, if it closes at 10, I'd really, because they're like 20 minutes away. But I gotta remember what I wanted to buy from there anyway. Okay. So this Walmart. Hold on. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just checking. Because Google gets so confused with Walmart. You try to Google Walmart and it's like, oh yes, the bakery. Bro, tell me about the man John. Okay, so the Walmart, the closest one, does close at 11. Cool. So I got a panic. Excuse me. And I'm gonna give y'all what y'all pay for. Run your 7 and get to Walmart before they close. You right. Okay. Before I run the 7, okay, I got a couple of concepts, just premises I want to throw out there. Um, I don't remember what made me think of this, but the I got to figure out how we do the premise. I think this is gonna be better, like a like a skit, but I want to make a holiday called Thickmas, and it's a holiday all about body positivity. That's just the premise. And I bet because I got people at work who, man, we come up with some great skits together. We came up with one. It's just bouncing ideas back and forth. It looks like Myrtle Beach, somewhere between 70 up to 80. Sweet, thank you. I appreciate that big time. Skits. Me and my coworkers came up with a skit that I love because, and this is a joke. I don't know how to get to this joke, but I love this punchline. The punchline is somebody feeling like that. That's like a serial killer who hates suicide. And then the joke is in the act out of something like that. Like a serial killer's about to kill you. And then to me, it was easier to describe as the skit. The skit is like a bunch of people that were out camping. Oh, they wake up in this weird cabin, and there's a serial killer walking around, right? Because he's captured them all. He's gonna kill them, and then he goes to one dude who digs in his bag and finds his journal, and then flips through a page and goes, "Oh, oh no, man, this ain't okay." And dude's like, what are you talking about? He goes, dude, oh my god, it says here oh my god, you're struggling with those kind of thoughts. Uh, I mean, from time to time, is this really the time? And then the serial killer goes, whoa, hold on, no, wait a minute, man, we got to talk about this. This isn't okay. And he's like sitting down and start talking to him. And it's like, hey man, hey, I don't want to be rude, but this is kind of, I mean, this is kind of, oh, can you spin me? Yeah. That kind of seem a little, and I remember that was part of it because the serial killer goes, yeah, that's funny. My mom, oh, this is one of my favorite parts I came up with for that skit. Dude is talking to the serial killer. He's like, hey man, I mean, this kind of seems, I don't know, maybe this ain't I mean, you seem pretty good at this. He goes, yeah, that was, it's funny you say that. My mother always said I should have went into psychology, right, Mom? Then the camera just points to just random living room, just random part of the living room, and the dude goes, Is she the lampshade? He goes, is she the lampshade? And the killer goes, she is the lampshade, yes. Like that. But to me, that concept, and what the thing about that joke, and maybe we'll work on that one together one day. I have to find the setup for that. Like a person who likes this but hates that. That's like a serial killer who hates suicide. That would you say? Yeah, laugh my ass off. When I thought about that skit, ooh, I love that one. I did. It's such a great concept, and to me, it makes for an awesome joke. I just have to find what leads up to it. Somebody liking this but hating that, that's ridiculous. That's like a serial killer who hates suicide. But to be that skit, and it in my head, the idea happened like a Family Guy cutaway. But just that, he going, hey man, that's not okay. What do you mean that's not okay? You about to kill me talking about that's not okay. But that last part, ooh, I almost forgot about it till I said it. So yeah, well, mom always said I should have went into therapy. Right, mom? Is she the lampshade? And then he says it like at the same time. Is she like she is the lampshade? Yes. She is the lampshade. Yeah. Oh, and you know what it was too? There was a cause I was just we were riffing on that whole idea. There's a part where he's like, "Ooh, oh, um, there was a part where he says something about, oh man, my sugar's a little low. I noticed you had a granola bar. I noticed you had a granola bar in your bag. Can I?" And he goes, "Oh, I mean, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry to ask. I'm sorry to bother. I got to keep my sugars. Yeah, yeah, no, that's okay. And I think there was a bit where he almost tried to get the dude to untie him, but it was like, you almost had me. I almost let you go. Like, it was such a stupid, such a such a silly idea. I'd be coming up with those. I think the idea of thickness is going to be one of those. We talked about this months ago. I got to figure out how I tell this joke, but I want to do a joke. And the premise of the joke is that I like thick women, so much so that I started an organization called the Thickness Protection Program. And it's all about supporting and gassing up and supporting thick women. And the reason why is because I want to be able to make merch. I want to be able to make badges. Like I want to be able to make a badge that you can put your picture in, and it says member of the Thickness Protection Program. Plus, I thought about it the other day. That would be perfect for brands. Brands would love that. Plus size fashion brands would love that. Partnering with the Thickness Protection Program. Um, I just put that because thickness was on the board. We are going to run the 7, but I just want to run all this stuff that I did right down here. We're going to skip yapping about the Michael movie because we already did that before, but I wanted to re-yap about it so it'd be easier to cut up and post because I'd be able to have my thoughts a little bit cleaner. Um, the E-list leaderboard. I just recorded this today because I was joking around with a coworker. Um, and I said, oh, you know what? I still got to figure out how to get this perfect. But I said, and I just recorded this. I'm gonna try to post it tomorrow. But there's a I realized part of why the Epstein list is so important to the elite is because it's like their Call of Duty leaderboard. Like that's like their who's the best ranked player in the region list. And then I'm like, oh man, really? God, that guy's killing. I got to know his gear. Like that's like the purpose. It's a quick one, and I get in my head a lot about a lot of those. I really think the way that I recorded that was funny enough for me to just post it. So I need to just post it. I'm gonna try my best to just post it tomorrow. Now think about it. Let people be offended if they want to. Alrighty. Okay. I'd rock that. Or vegans who hunt. Vegans that like chicken, vegans who hunt. Yeah, I see. Premises. In my head, I want it to be like that.
serial killer who hates suicide. Um, and maybe I'm doing too much. I could find it. I could find it. There's some great ones off the top of my head. My brain thinks like when you see like when you got like women that are like, oh, all men are garbage, but they got a man. Like what? Or the flip or any sort of flip of that or um because it's somebody who and they're okay, a serial killer who hates suicide. Those are both about death, but your problem is where the death is coming from. So, what would the comparison to that be? What is something that people say that people like this thing, but they hate this thing? You know what a good example I think would be just off the top of my head is is like those guys who this is a good one. Uh, Porn addicts who hate like porn stars. That's weird to me. And that actually would be a good direction for me to go in with a joke because I've always found it weird to be like, how do you use the thing but hate the people that make the thing? That just never makes sense to me. Like you're the person that's addicted to this thing. Like being a porn addict but hating porn stars. That's like a serial killer who hates suicide. And that one works because it's the same thing, right? It's you use the stuff, but you want to disrespect the people that make the stuff. That's weird because it's the same thing. Same thing with a serial killer who hates suicide. Whoa, 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 whoa! Slow down. We can't. We got to talk about this. To me, that's what makes it so stupid too. He gonna kill you, but he talking about, and you couldn't see it because my chair is too low and my chair too wide. I tried to do the you turn the chair around thing like the after school special. That's pretty good. How about men who complain about crazy women but want Harley Quinn? That's good. I think it's a little too niche. I think it's a little too. I think it's a little too specific to comic book fans. Even though one of my favorite jokes that I still haven't been able to execute as well as I wanted is one where I say that like therapy is a lot like One Piece because people always tell you, "Oh man, you gotta start. You gotta start. It's gonna take forever for it to get good. You're gonna have to get to about 500 sessions before it gets good. But once it gets good, oh man, I'm waiting to do a Comic Con show and do that joke. I think that joke will absolutely eat. Um, if I bust that out at a Comic Con, I've been trying to find alternatives for One Piece that would still work. I think I did in my head. I thought Sex in the City, um, but because I'm trying to figure out what is a thing that older white people talk about like that. Oh, you gotta get started. It's not good right away, but once you get going, you're gonna love it. Um, and I'll tell you guys this just because I thought about it. And I promise we're gonna run my 7. But I thought about this concept, which I really, really liked. I freestyled this out at an open mic. This sucked because there was no audience there, and I was just like, well, whatever. And I'm kind of freestyling my content. Freestyling my jokes because I did my jokes about therapy, and I came up with a tag that I liked the direction of. I said, I wish the CIA would have implanted therapy into the black community in the 80s. Imagine if they brought therapy to the black community instead of crack. And then one tag I said that I loved was because you imagine that means the Crips and the Bloods they would be book clubs. Like they'd be men's groups. Like and they'd be beefing on their interpretation of the third Dune book. Like they wouldn't even. But to me, that I was like, ooh, I'm on to something there. Um, I don't know where I would put that in a bigger set. It would be great for a big, big set, like maybe in my 30-minute or my hour. Because Joe made a good point. When you're doing only 7 minutes, like controversial topics are tough because you don't have enough time. Sometimes you don't have enough time to sort of pad around the controversial parts. That's why with like a 7 minute set, I might want to consider not doing the white slavery joke, not because the joke's not good, but because that's the type of joke where it's kind of a dice roll depending on how your audience is going to feel. And in a short amount of time, you don't have a lot of time to accommodate that gamble. So, what I think I'll do, I might try to write my set two versions, the ones that has those jokes, and the one that doesn't. I just have to figure out how I properly execute it if I don't. Right, he said the serial killer wants to be the one doing the killing. I know you can't see it, but I was snapping during the whole thing. What whole thing? What whole thing? And I've been yapping so much I can't even remember what thing was snappable. Was snappable. But let's lock in. Um. Now the other thing, last thing I'll say. I'm looking at the board. I hit everything. That I wanted to do. The last thing that I think is I really think I'm just gonna have enough fun. There's something about the way I'm doing the setup to that joke that's missing sometimes. And because I don't know what it is yet, I'm hitting it right sometimes and hitting it wrong others, which is why I want to learn what is making those jokes fun when they're fun. The white slavery and jokes. Yeah, you need recovery time. Right. Especially if it doesn't work, you gotta have recovery time. What we are going to do in Myrtle Beach is work on my 20 because I know what happened there. When I did my therapy stuff, it wasn't funny enough, and so it caused a weird dip that then my other stuff couldn't get out of. And what I think I might do, I might move my therapy stuff to be after the hair stuff because I know the hair stuff hits hard. The hair stuff is really good, and it works. And what I did my regular open, then did the therapy because I wrapped it all around the idea of self love. I started loving myself, so I started going to therapy. But the therapy stuff is newer and it's a little bit emotional, or it can be. So putting it that early shifted the flow of the whole set. So what needed to happen was I probably needed to do my regular stuff, my regular open, go right in the hair, then do therapy. Right? I've already got y'all laughing enough, laughing long enough. Then do therapy, then do the other stuff around, and that probably would have helped. About the therapy in the 90s. I know you. Oh, yeah, therapy instead of crack. Oh, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Poets will ate that up. I feel like there's something real funny in there, too, if I really work on it. Alrighty, we're going to run this 7, which I keep saying, but we're going to run this 7, and then I got to go because I just remembered I still have to pack, and I got to pack for like a week. Um, but 16, 17, I'll be with my lady, so I don't need to pack too crazy. Anyway, plus I always take forever to pack, always, and I hate it, and I never get good sleep because I spend all night packing. Everything else I'm thinking about doesn't really need to happen right now. I'm trying to think of how I can get my clothes to dry faster without using the dryer because I was supposed to wash them and dry them earlier than I did. All right, come on. About giving African Americans therapy. Yeah. There's a word there. I can't think of what it is. They say the CIA blanked crack into the black communities. There's a word that they use there that's not coming to me right now. It's not infiltrated. It's not brought it because they didn't bring it. They snuck it into the black communities. So I know there's a word there that's missing. Um, But whatever. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's run this 7. So, in order to run this 7, we just gonna run it how we got it in our huh, we're gonna run it how we got it in our heads. I'm not gonna worry about it because my I could angle my thing down, but I'm not gonna worry about that. Pause. That sounded weird. Ooh, excuse me. I hope y'all didn't hear that, and I hope y'all can hear me down here. Anyway, here's what we're doing. We're just gonna run this regular. I'm not gonna do no fancy jaws with this. We're just gonna do it regular. So that means we're gonna do surprised, Urkel, 2008, unemployed. I think we'll do glasses because I've been when I'm running my 7, something has not been working. Something's been off on my time, and I can't remember what it was 100%. Get to the 7. Oh, that's why you said 7 a bunch of times. I was like, oh, okay, I guess she, all right, I guess she crashed. I guess she lost her mind. Thank you. I'm so silly. Okay, let's see. We're gonna do glasses. Normally I skip Baghdad because Joe doesn't like that joke, but Joe's not gonna be there. This is what I'm thinking. This is also why I'm trying not to overthink. I just want to grab my green marker to see that it wasn't gonna show. I did and can. Okay. Um, glasses. I've been doing my 7 minute and my timing has been off somewhere. What I also think I'm gonna do one of these days, I get so on the rails with my material. One thing I actually think might help me a lot is if I just shift the order around. Because shifting the order around helps me sometimes, can help me stay in the moment rather than getting so on the rails. And I think that's why I didn't advance when I did the competition here a few weeks ago. Because when you're doing sometimes you gotta, the room you're in doesn't want material. They want it to feel like you're just yapping. And when I get too structured, you can feel the stuff is rehearsed. Even though I'm not doing it rehearsed, like I'm not up there like a robot, but I do gotta, once you got good bones, you gotta add meat. You gotta, well, not meat, but you gotta Wu Tang with it, and I get a little too on the rails to Wu Tang. Hold on, I'm still down here. Don't leave. If you're here, don't leave. Hold on. Do unemployed. We're gonna do glasses. Then we're gonna do X because that's the. I don't know why I put that. This ice cream machine. Then we're going to shift to hair. Hair. That is weed at. And then normally what I do is I go right into Frederick, which goes into goes right into Juneteenth, which goes into white slavery, which then goes into description, which then goes into disco,
And then that goes into jive turkey. Then from there, I go into my lyrics, which is grenade dash peanut, and then grab somebody. My brain is telling me something's missing in here. I think I can add a joke that I've taken out. It's probably Baghdad. I can probably put Baghdad back in. Like I said, I'd be skipping Baghdad because Joe doesn't like it, but he not gonna be there. He not judging this one, which is also why I don't think the white slavery stuff I need to be too worried about. Okay. Sup? Oh, Big Creation League, Creative Creations, 84. Okay, fine. No, no, no. That's fine. That's fine. What do y'all say? We run the. Oops. What do you say? Oh, sorry. I just remembered I need to charge this watch. And if I charge it tonight, I don't even think I need to worry about charging it until I get back in town. I'm trying to think. I might need to take the charger with me. If I'm big smart, I just charge it while I go to the store. Damn, I know most of your set. When you're, how can I know the jokes when you write them like that? Yeah, perfect. Alrighty. We're only gonna run it once because it's getting late and I still gotta pack. Um, but we're aiming for the clock to hit. We are aiming for the clock to hit uh 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I actually think I'm gonna bump that up to 6 minutes and 40 seconds because I've been falling short, you know, when I'm on stage. Um, and what happens is if I'm falling short, then it throws me off because I realize, uh-oh, I'm going short. So I think maybe what might help is let me build up 6 minutes and 40 seconds of material because again, that last amount of time should be taken up by laughter. But I also think it's time I come up with some new stuff. Apparently, I'm a fan. One of my biggest fans too. One of the best, one of the longest running fans I've got. And I'm looking at Thickness, and I'm just gonna say this while I'm thinking about it. I want to do a joke like as a person who likes thick women, and now I'm mad that everybody's calling themselves thick, and I'm like, they used to call us all kinds of slurs like chubby chaser, like stuff like that. Just and I think that would allow me to get the subject for the thickness protection program. Um, Ooh, and I just thought about it. That'd be great to do um, when you're in a show. And I'm like, I know we got some members of the thickness protection program in here. Fellas, I know you fellas, I know your lady will be mad if you say it's you, but we know. Dudes who and then they gonna be mad if they go, yeah, woo. I'm saying those would be funny, especially I pop that out the wild. Like, we got these thickness protection ID cards. We sell these back here. You can put your passport photo in here. Blah blah blah. But then, because I want to do that bit, and then I know I'd be able to get so many brands with that. So many brands with that, and then thickness would be part of that. But anyway, all right, let's run this 7, and then I got to run to Walmart. Next time, we're going to talk about the tomatoes because I had an emotional breakthrough with them, and I kind of want to find a way to turn that into jokes, but I just don't know. Remember that when you're famous. Oh, absolutely. Wait, remember what? That you're a fan or the thickness protection program stuff? Because I tell everybody, dude, I promise you, once I get big and famous,
I'm switching up on all y'all, dude. Y'all gonna catch me. I'm gonna act like I don't know none of y'all, dude. I'm switching up. Y'all not gonna recognize me, dude. I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna be swimming in white women. All this what? Black power? Shit. The only power around this nigga is green. Oh, be swimming. That's only funny if I don't do that. Otherwise, they're gonna clip that. All right. Let's run this. We're aiming for 6:30, 6 minutes 30 seconds. Can I show you all the watch easy? Probably not. Probably not. But we'll figure that part out when we get there. Alrighty, got it all right there. Remember, I'm aiming to do this with put your passport in it. Wild. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, your passport photo. Yeah. Okay, here we go. I do got to remember, I'm going to try to do this with no pausing for laughter, just pausing for the flow. I'd expect nothing less. Okay, here we go. Everybody, put your hands together for your next comedian coming to the stage. Don't hit your girl. He said, "I know." Oh God, no. Oh God, I get it. That won't even be worth it. I said that a long time ago. I can't remember if it was during one of my first streams. I did that because I have video of me going, "Hey, hey, hey, hey." I think it was. I think it was my first stream. I made that same joke. I'm gonna be swimming in wine. Oh man, that's one of my favorite things about me is that like I make the fact that I love black women so public. Even my coworkers will go, "Oh, Hannibal, we got one for you," because they be knowing. I have to take pride in that. I don't know. Whatever. Here we go. Let's run this seven, please, dear God. 6:40. Yeah, we're gonna stick to 6:30 because I'm not gonna make any adjustments to this right now. So the goal is gonna be for us to hit 6:30, maybe 6:40, because we're gonna do this trying to do no pauses for laughter, pauses for you know the joke, because we're gonna try to land where the laughter would get us to 7 minutes. Here we go. Ladies, how did I do that? I literally went, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for your next comedian, come to the stage, and then got distracted. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for your next comedian, come to the stage, Hannibal Callan. What's happening, everybody? I'm Hannibal Callens. I just turned 31, and right now I am in love. Thank you, thank you. I'm surprised too, because who's falling in love with Steve Urkel after he joins the Black Panther Party? I'm the only brother right between did I do that and the white man did that. And I'm lucky to be in love, man. Me and my lady been together for 7 years, and it made me learn a lot. Like being in a relationship is just like buying a house. If you didn't do it in 2008, it's too late. Cause all the advice you get, garbage. I had a dude tell me, "Yo, Hannibal, don't ever date a woman that makes more money than you do." Craziest thing I heard from a brother on food stamps. I even had a lady go, "Oh, you know what, young man? You should stop wearing your glasses because you look cuter without them." Maybe she don't know how these work, but I need these to see. Like this is not a fashion statement. This is a disability. And nobody should give advice like, "Hey man, you know you get way more girls if you would just ditch the wheelchair." I also realized that, man, sometimes people break up with you, but you still grow. If y'all had that, man, for me, My ex-girlfriend told me she left me because I'm the type of man you get married to. Any of y'all ever get fired from your job because you were good at it? I never met somebody who said, hey, yo, McDonald's had to fire me. I had the ice cream machine working every day. And tell you what, man, I actually started my self love journey by growing out my hair and realized quick it changes stuff. I had a dude get real close and go, hey, man, hey, bro, where's the weed at, bro? I was like, dude, leave me alone. This is church. And I don't know what you're doing down here. Pastor, get back on stage. And just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, this lady got the nerve to go, ugh, I hate that we celebrate Juneteenth now for some reason. What? It's ridiculous, dude. I feel like Juneteenth is the only holiday with a good reason. We've had Toyotathon since 1976. But this is where she draws the line. Dude, we got a holiday about a rabbit laying chocolate eggs. We got one about a magical man who busts in your house and leave you presents he had made with immigrant labor. Mardi Gras? Just titties. That entire holiday. That's all of New Orleans going, guys. Tomorrow, we celebrate Jesus Christ. So today, show me your knockers. I'll throw you some plastic beads. Ah. Man, I think people get uncomfortable with Juneteenth because they think if black people gain power, we'll enslave everyone else. But that is not true. At least the other black people haven't told me that yet. Right? But that's not going to happen, man. Because slavery's wrong. It doesn't matter who's doing it. And it doesn't matter who they are doing it to. Also, if we enslaved white people, it wouldn't be as good. What? I mean, the amount of sunscreen alone, you're losing. Your profits are gone, right? And now, thanks to climate change, you can't have anybody out in the fields. Everybody got to be in the house day trading. Buy, boy. Sell, boy. Right? Pick my NFTs, Tanner. It's not the same, man. I really think the worst part would be the music. Man, because my ancestors, they managed to turn pain into poetry, made music like wading in the water. I couldn't imagine working the fields to Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. uh, and besides, no matter what, dude, I like my look. All right, because having my hair like this in an afro, this isn't just about style. It's about culture, and it's for survival. Because with an afro this big and glasses this thick, no matter the crime, I do not match the description. Let's be honest, guys. This is not the look of a dangerous Negro. This is a disco Negro. And I promise, nobody's going to get robbed tonight like, ha! Hands in the air, jive turkeys. It's not happening to y'all, man. Tell you what, I'm glad I'm in a relationship. Because, dude, I can't stand love songs, dude. Love songs are ridiculous. Bruno Mars got a song where he says, I'll catch a grenade for you. Huh? Like, I don't know if you see what I see, but guys, I'm the only man I know too scared to walk himself to the car at night. Like, if you see me walking past 6:30, you better know I keep a pocket full of peanuts. Because if somebody is going to rob me, I pray to God he has an allergy. Give me all your money, fool. Ah! Checkmate, baby. Catch a grenade. Really? If me and my lady go to the park and someone throws a grenade at us, on the off chance that on that day I think I'm Serena Williams and I hit it back, someone with the audacity to bring one grenade to the park probably has the future planning to bring two. Worst example, Pitbull's got a song where he goes, grab somebody sick. Okay, and time. That was bad. Dang, that was bad. Why did it do that? I tried to show it to y'all, but it disappeared. If y'all can't see, that's at 7:03. Oh my god, you add ass. Get to the 7. Okay. Okay, that was weird. Hmm. Because that's actually really bad. You paused a couple of times. I did. I did pause a couple of times. Um, because my brain's still working up. And you know what sucked is I felt really good about that. I felt like I was having fun. And that's because I think that's what might be needed for those heavy jokes to work better. Because even what I did this time, when I said the thing about holidays, I laughed about it. When I said the white slavery thing, I laughed about it. And I don't think I don't laugh, but I think that helps. Because this isn't serious. The idea of enslaving white people is ridiculous. That's silly. And my reasons are even sillier. Oh, the music. Ha 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 ha. And that's what I think. And let me know what you think. Dream. The only person that's in here. But I'm curious what you think about how it felt because that's kind of what I was thinking in my head. It feels like I want to ham up, not crazy, right? But I do want to crank up the fun that I'm feeling. Say this stuff like it's fun, you know? Because I do realize there's like even the guy going, where the weed at, bro? That could be offensive. That's the type of thing somebody could write a poem about and get their slam poetry on if they wanted to go in that direction. But that's not the direction I'm going in. I'm going in the direction of this stuff. This is funny, so I gotta ham that up. There's probably one joke in there that should have been cut just from how I did it that time, and that probably would have been glasses. However, the problem is I was gonna be way far behind because I started the Pitbull joke pretty much at 7. That's not good because Pitbull is a minute. Um, that Pitbull joke is like at the very least, it's a minute. So I really need to. That's why I need to be, and that's why oof, when I'm performing and I get that light right at the end of the peanut, right at the end of grenade, that's when I know I got him. When that light hit, I right as I finish grenade, I get the minute light. That's when I go domain expansion. Well, not so much like that. It's more so I've got no the light Yagami. I've won. I've won. You know that. No, I can't laugh. I gotta hold it in because I already know I got him. Let's see. When you did that joke, I missed the sunscreen part. Not to say it doesn't work on its own, but I think it holds more when you go into the depths of why it wouldn't work. It will also put people at ease. The sunscreen, yeah. Normally I hit the sunscreen. I don't know how I hit it this time. But also, it's typically what I do, sunscreen, and you pointed it out perfectly. The sunscreen joke is what breaks the tension of that concept of enslaving white people. Like if we did enslave white people, it wouldn't be as good. Some people laugh at that on its own. The addition of the sunscreen is funny because you go, oh yeah, I never thought about that, right? So, but what normally happens is I throw, I go, the amount of sunscreen alone, people are laughing when I say sunscreen because it breaks that tension. Now we're all laughing about this again. Ha 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 ha. And then I'm kind of like talking underneath that laughter. I'm like, the amount of sunscreen alone, you're losing like
You're losing your profits right there. How people laugh. However, I will say this: I might benefit from changing the wording so that you end on the funny word, which in that is sunscreen. I mean, dude, the amount of sunscreen? Ha 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 ha. But I like how I'm normally how I throw that out there because it is. It's like, ooh, this is tense. Talking about enslaving white people, dude. The amount of sunscreen alone, like, but and I think the more that I run in my head, it's better to end on sunscreen. That was something I learned years ago listening to what now I realize I think was a podcast. I was on YouTube, and I know I'll never be able to find that video again. But it was some people talking about comedy advice, and they said that. So one thing is, oh, you always want to end on the punchline. You want to end on the funny word, or as close to it as you can get. If you have maybe a word or two after, that's fine. But you want the joke to end on the funny word. Just with that in mind, that's how I should approach sunscreen. Dude, the amount of sunscreen? And that's funny because that's silly. That's a silly thing to be worried about, you know. And like you said it, it breaks that. It puts people at ease. It breaks the tension. Now we're laughing at this stuff. Um, I actually think that joke needs more, and I think that that could be like a much longer bit. Um, because I even want to do like sometimes I throw a tag out if the Sweet Caroline doesn't hit right. I'll go, okay, so we're not caught up on our white man spirituals. And then what I need is a list of classic white people songs um, that I would then go more into. Then I was talking to a brother, one other comedian, because I used to do lollipop, lollipop, oh, lollipop. Call me baby lollipop, tell me. No, no, no. Oh, wake me up before you go go. Wake me up before you go go. Leave me hanging on like a yo yo. But then he and I were talking, we were riffing about it, and we realized that actually does sound like a slave song. Wake me up before you go go. Don't leave me hanging on. Like, so I do think there's a whole nother shift in that joke waiting to be written that I think goes in that way. What would be white? What would be white people spirituals? And then if I can find more songs like that, that's gonna be great. A song where I take this song and now listen to the lyrics and now think of it as a slave song. This works. Wake Me Up Before You, that one's a good one. Um, I just got to think of other ones like I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But songs that sound like they would be white people's slave songs. Wake Me Up Before You Go. That's a perfect one. I'm trying to think. My brain wants to say Crazy Train, but there's a connection there. There's a Crazy Train and an Underground Railroad connection there. I don't know what it is yet. What are some other famous white people songs? Sweet Caroline is the top one. I know it's not the only one. Anyway, we're not gonna worry about it. Um, let's see. You said something. Politically speaking, that does play a part, but I think that's more subconscious, and people won't actually pick it out for what it is, and sometimes that's a good thing. What thing? What thing specifically will people not get? Oh, not pick out. And that's one thing I realized too. This is a thing I'm actually happy about, but I have to learn to master in the sake of my craft. I believe I'm funnier off stage. And my truest form of comedy is in these moments, like with my coworkers. I kind of wish I could set up a camera. I've been thinking about doing that at work. I just think it would be problematic if I set up a camera talking to customers. You know, this just shows me my reactions to people and coworkers, just stuff that we joke about. Um, I think would be top tier because my wittiness impresses me. Let's see the little into windows spots between the song, the lyrics, and connecting it to slavery. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. The fuck? I don't get what you mean. I didn't see what the fuck was for. But um, yeah, I like. It's funny too. I could just do that. I could just go, hey guys, what are some of the top? Go on my Instagram, go and go, guys, what are the top songs known to be sang by white people, and just go from there. Um, but yeah, I think that would probably be the punchline for that. Um, uh, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. I think, and it's a thing where you do a couple of songs, but then you go through that one because you can take those lyrics, bar, cut. Like this sounds like that. That sounds like that. That sounds like that. I just don't know what the punchline would be. Oh, my brain says, then would that make the thong solid? I don't know. I love the thong song. I wonder if there's a way to fit that into there. If this song is a white slave song, then what does that make the thong song? Like, would that be our national anthem? No, no. But anyway, all right, guys. The innuendos between the song lyrics connect to slavery. Oh, the little windows. Why does your autocorrect make you sound like you Spanish? You know the little window, the little window, the little window, mommy. You know you say Tory and you know you territory and they got the little window. That's what you. I think your phone is set to Puerto Rican. Don't tell anybody I said that. That was funny to me. A joke I used to love doing is a joke about I miss Florida because the Arizona's cool, but they just don't have Puerto Ricans, and it's so hard to find a good mechanic. Um, I like that joke because it's edgier than what I normally do, and that's the whole reason. That was one thing I really wanted to work on when I moved here. I wanted to work on doing like dirtier humor or edgier humor, you know, because I don't. I want to be good at it. I don't want to be, you know. Autocorrect hates me. I don't know. The whole about me being Spanish is. Yeah, that was your phone is set to Puerto Rican. Alrighty, guys, thanks. I'm going to run to the store. Um, Once I get to what's it called tomorrow, Myrtle Beach, we're gonna talk. We're gonna run this at least one more time, and I'm gonna try to find a way to stitch together my old footage from 2022 with what I got going on now. You know, to kind of really build up the whole story of me going back to this place and seeing if I can win something else. But yeah, I'm gonna run to Walmart if I can remember what I wanted to buy. The only thing that I think I wanted to buy was a pot for one of my plants. I really wanted to pot it before I left, but now I don't really think I have time. So I'm gonna see if I can remember what I wanted to buy from Walmart. But yeah, thanks guys. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate the F out of you. And yeah, I will catch all of y'all later. Shoot me a heads up when you're about to stream. Alrighty. I will try to do that. I am gonna try what I do today and like put it. Normally, I like to post and then stream right after. But if I don't have a post together, I will try to put a story out saying, "Hey, I'm about to stream." Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys. Love y'all for stopping by. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here, and I really appreciate it. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.